Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Tuesday to you all. Happy NMIXX Day Take 2. Because, of course, much like we have with the last two major albums we've gotten from NMIXX, we return to the highlight medley once again. And, you know, we don't cover highlight medleys on the channel unless it's NMIXX. There's a very good reason for it. The words acapella. That is why we're here. That is why you are here. If you're new around here, I have spent way too long on both the Xperigo and Fe3O4 break highlight medleys because they were done a cappella. A cappella for me holds a very special spot in my heart. I love a cappella music with a burning passion. It's my favorite type of vocal music. For me, it is the purest form of vocal music, a cappella. Especially if it's in a pop arrangement, because with acapella, there's nowhere to hide. There literally is nowhere to hide. Every single sound is made using the human voice. Nowhere to hide. And with NMIXX, first time around with Xperigo was really impressive. Second time around with Fe3O4 break was impressive. Fe3O4 stick out, will it be impressive? Notice the increase in volume there every single time. My guess is yes. And I think that's a fairly safe bet to make. So let's jump on board with it, shall we? Here we go! Three admin things I need to get out of the way. I'll keep them short because knowing me and how long the Fe3O4 break highlight medley took, this is going to be like 30 minutes long. First admin thing. I did see all your comments from the album listen we did yesterday regarding Sika, that the visualizer was not the full version. I can only apologize for that. When I was recording the album listen yesterday, the official visualizers for the album hadn't dropped yet. After I uploaded them, I saw they were on my subscription feed. So for that, I can only apologize. I was working with what I had or what I thought was available at the time. I did go and listen to the full version of it. While I do think that the way the song finishes, especially with all the vocal top line moments that you get, it still doesn't really change the opinions I have towards the song. It's just not a song that's for me. It's just not written for my musical interest and my musical taste, and I think that's okay. You know, there's people out there who like that song, who have made their opinions clear on that song, and to them, all the power to them. Like, music at the end of the day is brilliant because it's entirely subjective. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I'm not gonna go and, you know, push my opinion onto others as fact. That's just not what an opinion is, right? So, it's not a perfect 6 out of 6 album, but I can appreciate the song for what it is. And two, I didn't find a good clip in the MV of See That to put in the intro reel yet. I'm hoping we get something in this highlight medley that I can use. I made a point in the MV reaction yesterday that I want to bring NMIXX onto the girl group intro reel. I just don't know where and who I'm gonna swap them out for. But there just wasn't a clip in the MV, and I didn't want to spoil myself for this. So I'm hoping we find something, because next time around, whenever we have a girl group release, we'll have NMIXX in the mix. And one final point, this was auto-playing a little bit, or for like the first couple seconds when I was queuing everything up to record. Very bright, flashy lights to start, so let this be your one epilepsy warning. If you are photosensitive, I suggest maybe looking away for like the first 10 seconds of the actual like highlight medley portion, because it's quite bright and quite strong. So there you go. 3 admin stuff's out of the way. Get ready for a lot of talking, because I get very passionate when it comes to acapella, and last time around it took 25 minutes. This time it's probably going to take more. Good stuff? Good stuff. Let's get started. Oh, the riser! Oh, the bass! Oh my goodness. What a great way to start. Ah, yes. Speaking of Sika, they're going with the boom approach from Break. Cool, like, synthesizer replica there. Oh, hell on, you did not need to sauce on us like that. There's the hook. Oh, two moving top lines. Because they used the hook, it's fairly true to the original, isn't it? Holy high-flying vocals.
Let's go.
Oh, that was so short on Beat Beat. What? Whoever's doing bass is kind of doing like double duty as vocal percussion. That's neat. Again, really short. Wait. Oh my gosh. This isn't a ballad. It's amazing as a ballad though, isn't it? Sustain it. Oh, drop it to the fifth below it. Oh, we could probably use that clip before the logo comes in for the intro reel. Mission accomplished. It's amazing. It's exactly what I wanted. It's dare I say it, their most impressive acapella highlight medley they've done. I think in terms of harmonies, I put it up there. Distinct lack of I won't say distinct lack of vocal percussion because there's some. Like I think No, not Beat Beat. Moving On has what could pass as vocal percussion. I think maybe See That might have had some, but the harmonies this time around were spectacular. There's more of it. But the main takeaway from this highlight medley is, yeah, I could have listened to this highlight medley before the album dropped and I still wouldn't have had any idea what the songs were. The arrangements in this medley are so different from what the actual songs are. Maybe the only song that could make a case for it being similar is Red Light Sign But We Go. That's the only song in this highlight medley that could even pass as being remotely close to what the actual songs were like, which is crazy to think about. Like this highlight medley it's less so a spoiler and more so of a red herring. Like this is a highlight medley meant to throw off people trying to listen to the album because you did not get the same listening experience on the actual EP as you do on the highlight medley, which is insane. But let's talk about let's go through every single song piece by piece, shall we? Because well, I'm in my territory. I'm in my realm now. This is acapella mode LT here. Get ready. Buckle your seatbelts. Also, prepare your eyes. Photosensitivity warning one more time. That harmony to start is spicy. It's nice and simple two-part. You get that buzz from the low end. Nice and sharp. It's not your typical pop chord, so to speak. But this is where the magic happens. Hop. Go again. Go again. Hold on. Oh now who is doing the bass in this? Because here's the thing with NMIXX and trying to figure out who's singing what part in the acapella highlight medley. On the low end, it's pretty much impossible because there's like 3 or 4 different members that can do the low end. I would say Solyun, Kyujin, and probably going off of previous acapella highlight medleys, Bae. But then throw Jiwoo in the mix as well, because she's also capable of doing the low ends. And it's like, you really need to know what that low voice is to figure out who's singing that. And the fact that we don't really get that low vocal anywhere else makes it that much harder. But bro, what the hell is this rearrangement, man? It's so pretty. Is it Jew? I don't know who's doing the bass part, but I appreciate you, whoever you are. I appreciate you because you are doing the very important thing in that song. It's freaking pretty. The harmonies are so rich, and that's what happens when you get there's a very faint, almost hi-hat type vocal percussion going on. It's super subtle, but you can hear it just barely, like the it's very subtle, but it's there. That's crazy. That's so good. All right, let's keep moving though. Entirely almost rap and rhythm type song is always hard to replicate a cappella. But what NMIXX have done, kind of similarly to what they did with Boom, is now that we are in a cappella and whatever is carrying the main rhythm portion, so your 808s, realistically 808s in your launchpad beat, is no longer here. It has to be remade, right? You're not going to get a prominent bass like you are going to get on an 808. You're not going to get that trap beat really replicated directly. Unless you've got a really talented vocal percussionist, you're really not going to get that same effect. So, because of that, even though the top line, you know, with Kyujin, sorry, I keep punching my microphone today, but, you know, with Kyujin starting... By the end of it, you could actually hear her start to change over into that more melodic flow. But whatever melody you get in Sika, however minimal that may be in the actual song, when it's brought over and done a cappella, that melody is going to pop. It is going to shine because there's nothing hiding it. There's nothing covering it up, right? So whatever melody, whether it's in the harmony or the instrumental section or in the top line, even if like the main approach in the actual song is rhythm oriented, you're still going to pick up the melody from it. And I think that's the interesting thing about having an a cappella highlight medley like this is, even if there is like a main way that you're supposed to listen to the song, it's going to come across a little bit differently because different things are going to get prioritized when you do it. Okay, so we got even more vocal percussion in that as well. Again, a little bit of a hi-hat action towards the end, very soft hi-hat. But what I find really almost charming about the acapella version of Sika is they've replicated some of the sharpness that you get in the instrumental, but they've done it in a really subtle way that it's there and you can feel the sharpness, but it's not the same effect that you get in the actual song. So like, pay attention to the kind of synthesizer replicas that you get. Actually, let's go back one more time. And then That's great. I love that slow down. Hey one, that was so saucy. Oh my goodness. Like the way it gets super breathy, gets husky, and then it just slows down. It just progressively slows down, and it's quick the way that song just drops off like that. Ooh. Keep it moving though.
Do what I want. 내 마음은 허들 전부 back it up. 더 높게 뛰어올라. Can't stop me now. 쉼 없이 running all night long. Oh, relax.
I know we didn't make it to the hook yet, but bro, there's something about this opening portion of Red Light Sign But We Go that is tickling my ears in such a nice way.
Do what I want. 내 마음은 허들 전부 back it up. 더 높게 뛰어올라. Can't stop me now. 쉼 없이 running.
The way the bottom end cuts out there for a second is so nice, but I think for me, what's really working about this specific part is it all starts in the same place, but then it slowly starts kind of peeling off into its individual moments, and I think that's so neat texturally, because you have that one solid block, and then it starts fragmenting off like piece by piece, and then it comes back together, and then it repeats that process. And whenever you get that separation happening, the song expands a little bit. It doesn't, like, the volume doesn't increase at all, but it becomes multi-layered. You have all the rich harmonies, but then the harmonies go off and do their own thing, and it's like the song is expanding, it's evolving, and that sensation is super nice.
Running all night long. Oh, red light, but we go. Red light sign, but we can go. Red light, but we go.
Why have you stopped? But you know what? Now is a great time to talk about this part as well. Having multiple moving top lines in acapella, really interesting take. Having them both be that kind of talk rapping vibe, also an interesting take. It's almost like a purposely written in conflict in a way, where you have that main hook, Red Light Sign, But We Go. That's very much from the song, and honestly, that is kind of like the main point of Red Light Sign But We Go, is that hook, right? And so, because you can pretty much replicate it like for like acapella, like in the original song, that hook is done talk rapped. Acapella, you can do the exact same thing, and that's why for me, especially with this latter half of the acapella arrangement of Red Light Sign But We Go, feels the truest to the original for me. But having Kyujin as a secondary moving part beneath Lily here, taking the hook, is a really interesting choice that's making the brain kind of tick a little bit, getting the gears going. Let's see if YouTube will behave now, though.
Red light, but we go. Red light sign, but we can go. Red light, but we go. Red light,
That's fine, we'll skip ahead a little bit. And when Bae takes over for the second half of that, the approach is different now. You get Bae taking the main hook, but then you get Ju coming in, almost providing like ad-libs rather than a continuous like second top line. And again, it's NMIXX with the little details. They're so good at the little details, and they're showing it off yet again, this time vocal only, and it's really nice. It's really quite nice.
So tell me what you're waiting for. Honest and knowing that it gonna love. 설렘 속 너와 내가 마주한 world.
That's the shortest clip we get for the entire album, but there's plenty to talk about. So I have my notepad from yesterday. You won't be able to see any of that, but I have for the song Beat Beat. 4 words: snappy, poppy, speed control. You get really none of that a cappella, and I think there's a really very specific reason why that happens. So in a song that's got a decent little bit of energy to it, in the full arrangement, you have the beat. The beat in that song is driving it forward. That's the case with really any song, is if you have a drum part, that is the thing that is moving the song forward. The drum is what dictates the speed at which the song progresses, or the pad part, or any percussion part for that matter. That is what dictates how fast a song feels and how fast a song moves forward. That's why whenever we do a K-band release, I always pay attention to the drummer, because they always are super slept on, but they have the most amount of power when it comes to like dictating what the song is. In this acapella version of Beat Beat, there is no beat in Beat Beat. Did not mean for that to happen, but that's exactly my point. There is no beat, ergo there is no sensation of forward movement in this. This feels more like a musical number than it does a pop song, because there's no beat driving it forward. That's why the song feels so entirely different to what the actual song sounds like. Now, would this be different if whoever's holding that bass part had some kind of movement to it? 100%. But there isn't. That bass note is sustained. That's where the movement dies away. That's where the entire feeling of this song changes, is that bass not moving.
What you waiting for? 어느새 너와 나를 이끄는 love. 설렘 속 너와 내가 마주한 word.
Might I also add, those are some very long sustains. I know you don't use as much breath in your lower end as you do on your top end, but still, those are some impressive sustains. Nice, long, full sustains. And again, we're coming back to the fact that the song doesn't have a beat anymore. It really does make it feel like a musical now. I think that's a really interesting thing. Just that one little thing that I think a lot of people, especially K-pop listeners, often overlook: the drum part.
Let's go.
Let's move it on.
Alright.
All the puns today. I'm on a roll. Notice this time around, whoever's doing the bass is kind of doing two roles now. The bass is also acting kind of like floor toms. There's a drum part, there's a percussion part. We have movement again. And moving on, being a song that kind of has that rock-driven beat to it, you'd expect that drum part to cut through, and it does. But there's just something about having a song that's got a little bit of that rock influence and then having Lily pop off. Just her voice, it just fits so right here. I'm gonna take a stab in the dark. I'm pretty sure that's Solyun on the bass part. Solyun's got a very distinctive vocal delivery tone, and I'm pretty sure that's Solyun. Well done, you. Well done, you. If I'm wrong, regardless, well done, you, but... Moving on poses a very interesting dilemma I've got going on here. Not in the bad way, of course, but had this been the actual mix of the song, I would be complaining about the fact that we don't really get a middle end. You get the main bass and drum part, we'll combine it into one. That leaves the other 5 vocals. So 1 lead and 4 harmonizing vocals to carry the top line. Even though you do get some middle range in the harmonies, because they're all kind of harmonies, they get squashed into one entity, and that entity generally sits pretty high in the musical scale. The top line, excuse me, I don't know where that came from. The top line also sits very high. Because of that, this song essentially doesn't have any middle. It's got a treble and it's got a bass. We don't get a bulk of the middle. I would be complaining about the fact that there is no middle, because the song should feel empty. But because it's done a cappella, it doesn't feel empty to me. It should, like on paper, this should feel really empty in the middle range. But because of the medium that it's being delivered in, and that it being an a cappella arrangement, it doesn't feel empty to me. And that's driving my mind nuts. because I shouldn't like this. There's pieces missing from this, and I shouldn't like it because those pieces are missing. But I do kind of like it in a weird roundabout way because it's done a cappella and you can feel the a cappella-ness of it. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough. Okay, we'll keep moving. Because we have to get to Love is Lonely, and this is unbelievable. This is my favorite. This right now is just an emotional ballad. When we were listening to the album yesterday, with a title like Love is Lonely, I thought we were gonna get a song like this. This is an EDM banger. Is there any resemblance of this being an EDM banger anywhere in this rearrangement? No. But what this rearrangement is one of the best vocal ballads that you can really make. It's got emotion, it's got the longingness, it's heavy, but it's also just so pretty. And weirdly, had this been the original version of the song, I wouldn't care. I would love it regardless. It still would be my favorite song on the B-sides. Even in its EDM banger form, it's still my favorite B-side. Had this been a ballad, it still would have been my favorite B-side. But love is so lonely, love is so lonely without you. 그 푸른 하늘을 저 혼자서는 어디가 몰라. 'Cause love is so lonely, love is so lonely without you. Oh, I love that the bass line is not, they don't go with the simple bass line. They decide to cut it up, break it up, and then they hold that first note there. What is that? It's what note is that? It's an A? That's an E. It's an A going down to an E. So it is the fifth of the A major. Yes. Cool. Sorry, I had a pitch moment there, but it's very nice. It's extremely well put together. And you do kind of feel that loneliness coming from it now that it's in ballad form, don't you? And that the top line goes one note extra. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Congratulations, we're at 28.5 minutes. Officially set a new record. At this rate, we're gonna hit like 40 minutes on the next album. Am I gonna complain about that? No. Are you gonna complain about that? Perhaps. It's a little bit long-winded, but where do we sit with this acapella highlight medley? For me, vocally, this blows Break out of the water. Break was already really good. Expergo was already really good. But Stick Out takes it to another dimension. The thing is, I think this highlight medley leans more into just really pretty vocal harmonies more than anything else, and that's why it's resonating with me. Like, if we're talking about how true to the original these highlight medleys are, Expergo and Break are significantly closer to the original than Stick Out is. Stick Out, it's almost as if the brief was reimagine this album. That is the kind of sensation I get from listening to this highlight medley, because honestly, apart from maybe Sika, but definitely Red Light, apart from those two, this highlight medley does not reflect this album at all. That's why I'm like, I really want to call this the Red Herring album sampler, because Had I listened to this before the album dropped, I still wouldn't have been spoiled to the album just from how different this comes across. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but if we're treating this as a standalone vocal performance, it's ridiculously impressive. I knew it was going to be ridiculously impressive, but it's ridiculously impressive beyond what I could have imagined it to be. Break already set a really high bar. I mean, Aspergo started off at a really high bar. Then Break took that one notch higher. I thought they were going to really struggle to take it even higher than that. Stick Out cleared that. They're continuing to improve every single time. We love to see improvement around here. NMIXX every single time have brought something really impressive to the table. Not just in the title track, not just in the album, but also in the acapella highlight medley. If this is the level we're at now, what is this next album going to be? What level are we going to reach with this next album? Because it's unimaginably high, the bar that they've set for themselves with Stick Out. Admittedly, there is one thing and it all stems back to the whole listening sensation. I do wish that the highlight medley remained a little bit more true to the original, because for me now, I'm reimagining what the Stick Out album is like. And like, I want to know what this version of the Stick Out album would have sounded like now. You know, getting an almost musical number out of Beat B, getting a ballad out of Love Is Lonely. Because now that potential has been ingrained, you know, that seed has been planted in my mind about the potential of those songs. And I want to understand what that reimagined version is like now. There we go. Mind blown. Officially. I mean, this is NMIXX we're talking about here. That's to be expected. So, good stuff. Congratulations. 32 minutes in. Let's finish this up, shall we? Thank you all for watching along with me, listening to my incessant waffling. But acapella gets me very passionate. And hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did, because Lord knows I enjoyed that quite a lot. But as usual, one last request from me today: let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be, you know, checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.